This video is a follow-up to the one I did on the incident at El-Mansoura. If you don't know what happened, go check out that one first. Okay, now I have some good news and some bad ones. Bad news is, a similar incident happened I think 1 or 2 days after in Jordan. A student shot a female colleague 5 times, one of which was in the head. I'm not going to go too much into details because I don't live there and it isn't really my place to talk about it. But I am bringing this up for 2 reasons. First is this screenshot that has been going around on social media, allegedly from the killer. It says here, tomorrow I'm coming to talk to you, and if you don't accept, I will kill you like the Egyptian killed the girl today. I hope this is just a one case thing and that we didn't unleash hell. But to all the ass kissers in my comments saying that I'm overgeneralizing, this is a reality check. There is just so much turmoil in this region that is just waiting for one spark to set it off, and this could be it. Time will tell. The second reason I brought this up is because this time the victim wore hijab and dressed modestly. So all the people blaming Nayera's style can shut up about it now. Clothes aren't the problem. My heart goes out to both girls' families and friends, and I hope they are somewhere better now. Now, let's see what's going on with El-Mansoura's case. First and foremost, under social media pressure from a fair portion of the people, the killer, Muhammad Adil, has been transferred by the public prosecution to the criminal court and is being charged with premeditated murder, which I think is a great step, and I hope they follow through with it and make an example out of this asshole, because aside from the fact that he deserves it, if he gets off lightly with something like this, it'll just greenlight so much violence and we will not see the end of it. But I'm staying hopeful. This is good. Next, Sheikh Al-Azhar spoke up about the incident. For those of you who don't know, Sheikh Al-Azhar is the equivalent or similar to the Pope. I'm not sure if this analogy holds up, so don't quote me on it. But he's a very important man anyway in the Muslim social hierarchy. He said, calling the woman who doesn't wear hijab a non-Muslim is forbidden. She is just a sinner. It's a sin like all other sins, and this isn't one of the grand sins, which are like unforgivable things that condemn their doer. I think this is good because it shuts down everyone saying shit like, she deserved this, she was a slut, she dressed revealingly, blah 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 blah. This statement he made nullifies that excuse, and I agree with him. The crime had nothing to do with her clothes anyway. Plus, they were never the cause. Hell, Islam even orders men to look away when faced with temptations like that. And if you don't believe me that it's not the cause, go on Google right now and look up Egypt 1960. Look at how people dressed. This was a much safer and better time for everyone. I can't even believe this was Egypt one day, which reminds me, in this video I made somewhere, I said that Egypt always looked ugly. I guess I was wrong, I just missed her when she wasn't. Someone commented about that, but I can't find the comment anymore for some reason, but to whoever put it, you were right. And I stand corrected. Egypt did look good at some point. If you're still not convinced that it isn't how women dress, that's the problem. I stumbled upon this photo from around the same time. These are farmer women with their thighs out in the open and potentially other parts of their body too. And if there was to be a backwards environment, it would be farmers. No offense, of course. And Islam is not the problem as much as it is people abusing it, which might sound hard to believe for some people, but hear me out. This sheikh, Mustafa Ismail, married a woman who does not wear hijab in the old days, and he even bought her a piano for her to play, back in a time when music was still being debated whether if it's even allowed in Islam. This just shows how civilized we were back then. Compare that to now. Look what this dickhead, Mabruk Atiyah, said about the incident. If your life is precious to you, leave your home looking like a duffel bag. Or I think it's a duffel bag, I'm not sure about the translation, but the point is, he's saying if women don't want to get killed or raped, they should leave the house completely covered up. This is a death threat to almost all women, by a TV presenter, mind you. If this was a civilized country, he would be in jail, or at least in for questioning about this. And this other dickhead wrote this: like harassers deserve punishment, sluts do too, because it's the same scale. If you're not gonna punish one, then let both go. But why would a woman treat herself like an item and look so pretty? For who? This is forbidden, and very much so. She should be punished exactly as much as harassers. The translation is a bit rough here because Egyptian slang doesn't always carry across well, and I'm not a professional translator, but this is generally what he said. He's saying either punish those so-called sluts and people who harass them, or let both go. And I'm gonna go on a limb here and say he wants the latter. It is worth mentioning that the news agency he works in, Rose El Youssef, was founded by a woman back in the glass ceiling days. The hypocrisy and audacity are just astonishing. Oh, by the way, remember how the university said they won't expel the kid who killed Nayera? Well, I found this news post from January 2019. Same university suspended a student for 2 whole years for what hugging a girl on campus, quote unquote, for breaking social norms and the university's principles and values. A hug got someone a 2-year suspension, and a murder got another person nothing. They even praised him for his academic excellence. Which brings up a point I really wanted to talk about in the last video, but it felt inappropriate to do so at the time. If the killer was instead hugging her, or God forbid making out with the girl instead of killing her, I'm willing to bet everyone who was standing there would have interfered immediately. You absolutely never see people kiss or even hug in public. Even holding hands is shunned, but it won't get you in trouble. Apparently, killing a woman is not worth preventing as much as a kiss. Finally, a group of people made her a memorial poster at the university, as well as a few online ones she has received, which is commendable. I have nothing bad to say about that. The only issue is that in some of those, they photoshopped hijab and Islamic clothes on her. Even in death, they won't respect her choice and leave her be. They just can't let go of the way she dressed. Even though it wasn't even that revealing, it's actually reasonable clothing for such a hot-ass country. And it wasn't the reason she got murdered. That's all. If anything new or talking about happens, I might make a third video or a post about it. Other than that, I'm done talking about this, hopefully. At least until Egypt inevitably does something else similar. My condolences to both victims' families again, and I genuinely hope justice is brought to both girls.